Yes guys, JD here, and we are here for the round 2 in Bahrain in the ERS League, and my teammate Jojo is in third and I'm on pole.
Right, short shifting to 3 to avoid wheel spin and darting to the inside to get the inside line on JMARTZ going into turn 1. Under braking calm, no lockups, however giving space as hoping to avoid a collision into turn 1.
Right, both myself and Jojo both get clean starts, and I look to progress my lead going into the race to try and get an advantage over everyone else.
Right, coming out of turn 1, I got a good run on JMARTZ into turn 3. I go for the lunge down the inside but massively mess up, looking up and letting JMARTZ back down the inside. Try and hold it through round the outside, but JMARTZ regains the position.
I hate the racing line in the day. I mean, that was a straight, but yeah.
Right, we are coming into my fastest lap of the race, which I don't know really why it was on lap 2, but we'll move anyways. So coming into the first corner, it's quite a hard braking zone, so I try and shift down, get that gear 2, which I do, try and get quite close to the apex on the exit of that. Right, coming out of this corner, try and use all the track like that. And then coming into here, there's quite a lot of grip on this corner, so you can take it quite nicely. I tend not to use that curb on the left because it can get invalidated, so I short shift down to 5th and back to 6th through this corner here. Right, this traction zone is quite difficult, and if you're in a too low gear and you try and get on the power too early, you can really easily spin out. And then as we get over to this quite hard downhill braking zone, which I do quite nicely. Coming up to what I'd say is the hardest section of the track, as I go into lean here to try and maximise traction, then coming up to the hardest corner, as it's quite easy to lose grip and spin out, keeping it nice and close to the curb. Alright, now for the final corner, use 3rd gear, so try and get the rotation. And easy on the power as we come to the final straight.
On board to my perspective into turn 1 down the straight, Joshu is trying to make a move round the outside. I lock up, causing both of us to go wide, allowing Milky to get in the inside of Joshu, and also allowing him to get the better run onto me. I go defensive to try and hold the inside line to make it harder. And then Milky round my outside, not really too much I can do. I try to hold it through on the inside, but I pull out there because I'm avoiding a collision. And yeah, so we continue on. Milky's now got the place, going into the braking zone. Joshy makes a lovely dive down the inside of me for P4. I try and again hold a switch back, but yeah, there's not much I can do. So I just concede the position and fall back into P5. Now we move on to the next lap, where I'm going for a move on Joshu, getting a good run out of the first couple corners, going around the outside as Joshu goes defensive, little look up, try to keep her on the outside but not too much grip, and Joshu keeps the position as I get my first warning, which was a bit peak, but we move on. Moving on to the next lap, I make a move down the main straight on Joshu, but I cut into the racing line a little bit quick. It's a 50-50. I may have accidentally hit Joshu, so I apologise for that. But I do make the move stick, and I move back up into 4th position. Joshu comes back a little bit, but doesn't make the move. Moving on to the next lap again, Joshu goes down my inside this time, and I look up a little bit of contact. But Joshu Ghost, which luckily avoids damage, and therefore Joshu gets back the position. It's turning out to be a good little scrap.
Right, moving back over to me on the 5th lap. I have Milky up behind me, and I'm thinking like I should probably defend against this because he's quite fast. So I moved it semi-defensive, but as you can see from this video that Milky sent in, I thought that he was never going to make the move here, so I moved back into the try and get the racing line, but he doesn't, suddenly dives down the inside, making that move quite nice, I must say. And then I try and hold it around, and then manage to overtake again, but seeing as he got DRS, it's basically over for me, and he just makes the move easy, gets around me. So yeah, quite a nice move there from Milky. And then he was quite a lot faster than me as well, so he managed to extend quite a big gap after he overtakes. And then the next lap as well, JMARTZ manages to overtake me as well. So this puts me down to P3 before the pit stops. And as you can see, I was quite a lot slower than them on the soft tyres, so
I'm in P5.
that stint wasn't going the
I feel like
best for
I'm
me.
faster than Joshua. I'm not gonna lie. Back in the pit, so strong from me. I'm pitting. Yep, I know. I just drove past you.
Well done. I wonder what Milky's strat is.
Probably the same as ours.
Alright, both me and Joey decide to go on the hards because we know they can last and it's an
Okay.
easy one stop. So we both go on the hards now.
How much ERS do you have?
Now we come back out on board with me. I was much faster in the hard tyres, as JMARTZ and Mnemonics were actually fighting ahead of me, even though I think Mnemonics was a pit stop behind. Get pushes, almost spins out, and I managed to make the most of that and overtake him. And then on the next lap, it's not so fortunate for JMARTZ.
What, you've overtaken him?
Yeah.
He's now more than a pit stop behind you than you.
Pronto, Gualteri?
Hello?
Svignala.
You can see the slightly down the track there, just enough to loosen off there.
Anyway, onto my fastest lap of the session. Probably because I was using all my excess fuel and ERS down throughout the lap. It was actually the last lap of the race, so that was a bit of fun. Anyway, down into gear 4, into this right hand. I probably should turn down to gear 3 there, but oh well. Using the length of the thing quite well. Holding gear 6 into the S's and gear 5 through. Holding gear 6 into the down here braking zone, just so I have to do less downshifts. Steady on the power through that traction zone, as it's quite easy to lose the car. 7th here, back down to 3 to avoid the losing the car in traction zones again. Overtake Rich next, DRS engaged, I forgot how to talk, my bad. Into here, quickly down to 4th gear as to not spin the car. Quickly down to lean fuel as well through this corner, as it's very easy to lose the back end and die. Down into 4 again, straight easy, using the curb on the exit to get the most out of the car. Everything engaged again, straight through the ghosted car. Down into gear 3 for the final turn, and then it's just a simple acceleration over the line.
Alright guys, thanks for watching this video of the Bahrain round 2. And yeah, I think this race went pretty well for both of us. I mean, I lost like 1 position as I qualified first, and Joey obviously managed to keep his position. So it extends our lead at the top of constructors as well for both me and Joey in the Drivers' Championship, where I think he is first, now I'm third, but we'll need to double check that. But yeah, race was decent, didn't spin, so it's always a positive, and I guess we'll see you next week.